go more into, you said there were moments that you didn't really enjoy it. Like, what was the difference to you? What made you enjoy it versus what made you not enjoy it?
Well, um, I don't. I'm trying to think because I remember one specific time when I was like 7 or 8, and it was the first time I was really frustrated about it. I think that it was that I would just happened to miss a couple important things in a row. Maybe I
Hmm.
missed, or maybe I was even 10 or 11. It might have been when I was 10 or 11, because that's when I started doing like a bigger-ish TV show and started working for an extended period of time. Um, and I think that I just sort of, it was my first time having to make a real sort of sacrifice for it. And that was a lesson that I had to learn, and that's the point where a lot of people stop, right? They hit that wall and they're like, it's not worth it. And then they just go do something else. And that's totally respectable. It's totally fine. Um, but yeah, I figure it must have just been, I missed a bunch of hockey things. Maybe I missed a social event, a birthday party. I don't know, whatever it was. And I
Hmm.
was probably just feeling frustrated about that. To me, at that age, that was a sacrifice, because that is just kind
Yeah.
of like, whatever. And so it's the only times that I've really had frustrations with it is when I'm missing out, when I felt that I'm missing out on a big sort of thing. Um, and yeah, really, that's it.
That's that's interesting because it's like there was this one acting coach who one of my friends went to, and he was teaching a lot of shady stuff. And then my buddy asked me to come with him just to like check it out and see and all this stuff. And then we're there, and then I remember um somebody went up and performed their scene, and then the acting coach was like, not all your stakes have to be life and death. And then I was thinking, where it's just like, there's that's what makes it a stake, is because there is that depth of life and death. And then he went on to say, where it's like, yeah, like you have stakes as an adult and they're not the same stakes as when you're a kid. And then it really got me thinking, where when you're a kid, what seems small to you as an adult, when you're a kid, that's everything. So when you say it's like, oh, I missed maybe a birthday party, that's everything. Like that is life and death for a kid, where it's just like you need to be there. The fear of missing out is so
Yep.
real that you're gonna hate acting because you're missing out on this thing.
Yeah,
So that's interesting.
yeah. There's
And
that was
then
the only. Sorry to interrupt. Just add one more quick detail, is that
yeah.
that was the only time where my mom ever asked me, "Do you want to quit?" And because of the way that I was acting about it, and I said no, I don't want to quit, because when she
Hmm.
said those, I was having a little bit of a tantrum about it, but when she said those like huge words to me, I was like, okay, maybe this isn't such a big deal as you know what I mean? Like there's,
Hmm.
there's you know, insatisfaction, unsatisfied. I don't even know. There's not being satisfied with your job at the moment, and then there's hating it as a whole. And I never hated it as a whole. I
Yeah.
was just not satisfied with it at that moment, which is natural. And I think it's really good to acknowledge that nothing is perfect. And I think that that makes you a happier person. And for up until that point, acting was perfect for me. I got to miss a few days of school here and there, do some commercials, and I get these toys from these commercials. Up until then, it was sort of just kind of sunshine and rainbows, really. And so then when I started
Hmm.
feeling like I missed some things, then it wasn't, and that was a big lesson for me to learn, and I learned it, and I've stuck around up until today. So, yeah.